Hey guys, what's going on? I've been wanting to start a car channel, and this is going to be it. So I thought, hey, I'm going to start making videos about cars because I'm interested in them and how to do simple modifications and stuff like that, cool things, yada yada yada. And then I've had that decision for about 2 weeks, haven't really done any videos yet, and then my car decides to get a bad piston ring. I'm not sure if it's 1, 2, or all 4. But that ought to be interesting to fix, and that's an excellent start. Which means, anyway, I could show how to change piston rings. But, as you can see, I've been working on it, and just finished diagnosing it. It's a 2003 Pontiac Sunfire. Nothing really performance done to it yet. I have intake and a lower motor mount. And the body trim is actually broken right here, so whenever I try to open the door, which might I say is manual locks, I don't have a little button that unlocks my car. It hits down there. It used to be glued, but the emblem adhesive stuff didn't hold very well. Anyway, different things done to it. White seats, white door panels, white rear seats. These corner pieces are different, and then, the entire piece of plastic is different. Then I wrapped these in white. I smoothed out the back, put a gray headliner in it, has a sunroof. Got a touchscreen head unit in it. It used to have gray knobs and buttons. I made them black. Got my little zombie guy. I have wheels off an LSS Cavalier. Pedals, they feel nicer, get more contact. 5-speed manual. Wheels, I have front and rear speakers with a sub in the back. It's just one 12-inch Kenwood. Just enough to make it sound good. Okay, like I was saying before, with my car having a bad piston ring, I have a nice little example. This isn't out of my car. This is a broken one out of a small block Chevy, I think. Anyway, okay, right here at the top you got your piston, your little valve chamber areas. I don't know the specific name for them. This one's already missing one piston ring. Normally these have 2. You got your oil holders that keep oil in place while it's going up and down, and then you got your little sealer rings, which this ring right here, hold on, see if I can get a better way to do this. Here. Okay. So if I hold this right here and actually point to things, use this pin. So here's your piston. Right here on this is your sealer ring. And you can see that it's kind of hanging out the side over here. It's oversized, and then it has this little gap in the front. It's meant so whenever you put it down into the block, this will be mashed closed, and it keeps oil from, since all this area down here where it connect to the crankshaft and everything, is constant oils flowing through, and it's flowing up to this. But you don't want your oil coming up into here where everything gets burned. So these little rings seal off the oil. So I'm not sure if mine's cracked or just completely broken or what it is. I haven't got in there yet. But for some reason mine is letting oil get up into here and then get burned. Which, if oil's getting up through here, that means there's a loss of pressure that is being created by the cylinder moving, coming down back through it, because that means there's a gap in it, which makes your car idle rough. Or not idle rough, accelerate rough. But if it's just kind of idling, it's not a big deal. But once it gets put under strain and there's a lot going on, it's kind of a big deal. So that's the problem with my car. Symptoms are extreme consumption of oil. I used 5 quarts going 370 miles, so It's a lot. Let's see. Bluish smoke, kind of like a light blue, kind of looks grayish coming out your exhaust. Rough acceleration and rough starts, because whenever it first starts, your car tries to send oil to everything quickly because it wants, because if it's just sitting there and all the oil drips all the way down to like down here where the oil pan is, it wants everything to have oil everywhere so it can have a nice smooth start. So it'll run and try to lubricate everything before common running. So that makes it rough. If all the oil that gets shot everywhere goes up through the piston ring and gets burned, it makes a pretty wicked sound. So it's kind of like a rough, knocky, well, you would think metal on metal would sound like it. Kind of like that. If you were to muffle it and running out exhaust, kind of what you would think it would sound like. So, anyway, yeah, as you can see, this piston, see how it's nice and correct over here? On this side, it's broken off on the bottom, has a crack right here, cracked all the way up. I'm not sure how that happened. This is off one of my dad's vehicles. Anyway, that's the problem with my car. That's the first video I've done, and that's how you kind of diagnose a bad piston ring. Other ways that you can kind of make sure that it's a piston ring is compression or leak down tests. I've never done a leak down test. I hear they're a whole lot more accurate. I'm not sure exactly how they work, but I do know how to run a compression checker, which I think you run a leak down test the same. You just have constant pressure or something and listen for the leak. I don't know. But you check each cylinder and see if you have a mass loss of compression, and going in order from 1 to 4. I think I had 110, 95, 100, and 90, which my car is 10 years old, so it's kind of understandable that it's not going to be perfect. But that sounds like pretty good compression, but the thing is, oil can be kept in the combustion area where compression would be caused. So it can hold, bad piston rings can hold compression, and they can still be bad, because if there's oil in there, it can help keep the gap for the compression checker, which doesn't really work. But a good way to test it is you take oil and pour it down into your, pour it down like a teaspoon of oil, pour it down where your spark plugs go into where you're checking, and see if it goes up. If it goes up significantly, then yes, you have bad piston rings. If not, then you might have valves, or valve seals. But valve seals tend to leak more under idle, I think. And then piston rings are more troublesome under heavy acceleration and high RPMs. So, yeah, that's how you diagnose all that. So I hope this was helpful in some way or another. Never buy one of those sets. I hate it. No matter what you think, it's not convenient. They're a pain to get out, and they break. And that was a Stanley set, by the way. And there's my car way up there. There's a tractor that's old. There's a go-kart that's broken. And here's my other car that I need to get working on. 300 ZX. Front bumper isn't really bolted on. I mean, kind of pulls off. Anyway, yeah, I need to work on that. And thanks for watching.